Hello Commanders and welcome to this video for Infinite Lagrange. Today I want to talk a little bit about different fleet setups and options. What are the advantages, disadvantages? This is in special early in game very interesting when we try to level up our fleets. At the same time we still need the resources to build our base. Now as you can see here, I am attacking a level 7 fleet. We do have that was a total of 5 enemy cruisers and a few aircraft. And I'm going in here with my AC-721, set up Xenostingers, a few Nomas, Carillions, and then of course the corvettes that come with these AC-721. Now the reason why I do like this setup is it is pretty cheap to build. The AC-721 is one of our cheapest blueprints when we go and take a look in our destroyer AC-721 aircraft. We can see that we only need 20,000 metal and 2,000 crystal, 1,000 deuterium, roundabout 1 hour building time. Now, if we take a look at something like the Laft Taurus, the Taurus comes with 27,000, 2,600. So that's around 20% more resources. It's something you have to keep in mind. Also, there are other really good ships. I did play around with El Dabra before, no matter if it's the armored type or the generic type, but also they are pretty expensive. Now, resources early on in game are very valuable because you still need to continue building up your fleet. And the other thing I do early on in game is I do hunt these pirates for experience points. Let's take a look in that battle report here. So I try to get my ships maxed out in PvE XP. That means I need to reach level 30. The Carillion now reached level 30, Xenostinger reached level 30. As you can see here, other ships did not yet. I might even take out the Xenostinger just to get more XP on the other ships. If we take a look, a total of 250,000 anti-ship damage, 70,000 of that coming from the CVT 800, 95,000 from the 10 Xenostinger, which is still by far the best I have at the moment. They are also fully skilled up already, so that's helping. We do have 10 cellular defenders, bringing in another 50,000, and the nebula chasers 32,000, but keep in mind it's only 5 of them, so they would do right now even more, or in this specific fight they would have done more damage than the cellular defender. This always is sometimes this is a little bit better, sometimes that. As you also have to note is the cellular defender does not have so many tech points. But it always depends which of these blueprints you have. The important thing is you do have quite a few options doing that. And that brings us to the point where I did ask my guild to share some of their fleet compositions and what they do. Now here we have from Desmond a very nice fleet setup, also versus a level 7 cruiser setup, 2 CAS 066 Star Sweepers, Crasher, in this case Newlander. I think the second fight, yeah, there we have the Spores. So let's see at the Spores, this is exactly the same setup. 5 cruisers and 6 Spores. He's coming in with 2 Ceres support. That's not a lot of heal. 2 is pretty low. We can also see there are some ships that go out of this fight with a little bit lower HP, but it's still enough, so he's not losing anything. He got the Taurus. Let's take a look. By formation is very interesting. So he got the Taurus in the front row together with a Carillion special frigate. Now you know I'm a big fan of the Carillion special frigate because it evades like crazy. So the Taurus will do some nice damage, but keep in mind it also requires quite a lot of command points, while the Carillion frigate no command points required. And you can see here this one got a little bit hit, but usually they are very easy to repair because of the high evade. Now, he also got the high redundance loyal pulsar fighters. I still try to get them. I think they are amazing. Very, very high damage fighters. In the middle row, we got some Kuaor. I think he's just using them to annoy me that I have to say this name. I did play around with them. They are decent damage dealers. Main problem, you need to spend a lot of command points, and in my opinion, they are not as efficient as fighters or corvettes. Rayliat stealth, nice. Usually, I'm surprised. I thought they are in the middle row. They can do system damage, so if you don't have a front row, they can even help as a tank. Then in the back row, the already mentioned support, so these are the repair ships. Ceres aircraft destroyers, he is needing them to bring in the fighters, and 2 Xenostingers. Now the fight took 1 minute and 37 seconds, which is pretty quick. And taking a look at the damage, the Kuar did 100k damage, the high Redens did 61k. When we stay in the details, he only had to bring in 32 command points from the Ceres versus 60 for the Kuar, so that's nearly double. And if we look at the damage, that's nearly the same. Now, these torpedo type Kuar will do very well against other ships, but we can see they don't do anything against aircrafts. So as long as you fight ship fleets, that works well. As soon as you start getting into the meta and start fighting enemy aircraft fleets, you will be more happy with more fighters, or even the corvettes, the T-800s in special. The rest doesn't do so much damage. The Taurus is bringing in 58k. That's still less damage than the High Redens. Same thing there. We already talked. High Redens needed 32 command points. The Taurus also. So in this case, the Taurus have the same battle points, but the damage 58k to 61k. Same thing again. It's nice to have them. They are frontline. My problem with them is that they die a little bit fast as soon as you get a lot of damage. But for fleets like this, we can see they are efficient in the damage. They bring around the same rate of damage as these fighters, which usually is your benchmark. So most of the time, or for me, honestly all the time, the benchmark is coming from the fighters and the corvettes. They are some of the most command points efficient damage dealers we do have. The Rayliat is bringing in 28k. That's pretty good if we consider the 16 command points they have, and then the Xenostinger. It's only 2 of them, so that's 12 command points. They are very efficient. So we have to say Desmond has a very efficient fleet with the Taurus, the Rayliat, the Xenostingers, and the High Redens. The Kuara, they are okay. I don't think that they are really the most efficient one, but it's not bad. It's still a pretty good choice. He can finish the fight in 1 minute 37 seconds without losing anything, so that's a good thing. The only disadvantage in this fleet setup, as said earlier, would be, in my opinion, when you start seeing more aircraft, especially when you go into the PvP. Now, we do also have here one additional setup from Ace High. Let's see if we can get one fight against the same setup, Spores, Crasher. So here we have it. So what is Ace High bringing in? 2 Carillion in the front row. That is, that's not much. Usually I try to have at least 5 ships in the front row. It seems to still work pretty well, because if we take a look, he does not take damage on any other of these ships. We have to keep in mind also we don't have many enemy aircraft, or many enemy ships here. So honestly, I'm surprised. I was expecting that he would need more Carillions. That's pretty decent, so that's good. Only 2. Always keep in mind these tank ships usually don't do much damage. He's also bringing in cores, so very, very popular in my new orc here. Rubies, then in the back row some Ceres support and Xeno Stingers. Overall we can see this is a very, very low comment point fleet. This is a very 125 comment points only. That's pretty good. Now let's take a look at the battle stats. Same result here, 100k for the core, and we only have 7 of them. 56k for the rubies. Now his rubies are very, very high skilled already, and if we take a look at the comment point ratio, it's not half. So I would say the rubies should perform. They should have done more damage. They did also do a little bit of air defense, which is nice. It makes sense because he doesn't have any aircraft. And that's the same problem as mentioned before. As soon as you start getting into PvP, you will get problems versus enemy aircraft fleets, because you don't have anything helping you here. But for an early fleet, this works very well. He got 3 Ceres support, so these will repair probably mainly the Carillions. Seems, I mean, for only 2 Carillions, that works very, very well. And then the Xeno Stingers, they have the same comment points as a Ruby. So if we take a look, they do much more damage. The main reason for this is we now have cruisers as enemies, and cruisers have by default pretty high armor. The Ruby also is an iron cannon. The Xeno Stinger is also energy. Honestly, I'm surprised. I was expecting same thing here, that the Iron Cannon Ruby version would be closer to the Xeno Stinger. I know the Xeno is amazingly good in damage, but that's very, very close. So important to see, both of these fleets have the same kind of setup. We have some front row for tanking, we have a little bit of repair to be able to farm as many enemy pirates as possible, and then we do have some DPS. Now, I did also share here a report versus the same, versus the same fleet. We do, oh no, it's not the same, sorry. No, I have a report with the same. Let's take a look. Newlander, no. Here we have the Spores, the Star Sweepers, the Crasher. So perfect, here we do have the same. What do I have? I have a full front row with Carillion. Looking at the battle reports from my union members, I would say that is overkill. I do have too many Carillions, so they need 50 comment points. I shouldn't do that. It's not too bad, because later I will use 2 fleets so that I will be able to set up my first blockades. Blockades are amazing. They will allow you to farm XP while you are sleeping. If you don't know this, search my video about this. So then I will use 5 in each fleet. That works fine. The T800, this was not the first fight, so they were already a little bit pre-damaged, as you can see here. This part was already missing. Also 2 of them have the systems disabled. I bring in some Nebula Chasers, some Cellular Defenders, and then a bunch of AC721s. I do have also 5 Noma repairs, and I still bring in the Xeno Stingers. So the battle report, the Xenos nearly 100k damage, the T800s, these are 15 T800s, 80k damage, so they are getting very close. But to bring in 15 of them, you need 8 destroyers, 8 AC721, which requires quite a lot of comment points. So the Xeno Stingers are for me unbeatable in the damage output. Do you know anything that can do more damage per comment point than a Xeno Stinger? Let me know and share me the report. I'm very, very curious. Cellular Defender, here we see the Cellular Defender was also doing 47k with 10 Cellular Defenders, the Nebula 32k. So as already mentioned, that is my setup. The concept behind it, again, it's the same. I do have the front line Then I do have my damage coming in with the AC-721, bringing in all the corvettes, some repairs, and the Xenos for additional damage. And that is very, very efficient, because you can continue farming without going home for quite a long time. And as said later, I will even set up these fleets with, like, in an area like here, and I will tell them to just blockade this area, and that will make them attack everything that enters that blockade circle. Here is a player. I have to be careful. We are now starting to be in the phase where players start to move around. You want to keep your surrounding clean. I probably will clean that up later, and make sure that you don't get suddenly in between hive of other players. So I hope that video was interesting for you. As said, I'm still trying to get that nice little fighter. I try to use the research agreement. As we can see here, the high Tridents loyals. They are one of the options I can get here. Another option is the Chimera B and C. No, the C version not, but at least the B version. These are at the moment the ones I'm looking most forward to. Getting the B version of the Ruby would also be nice. I only have the A so far. So I always recommend you use the research agreement to be able to go for one of the S tier ships. It doesn't mean that you will get it, but the chances are much, much higher. Okay, so I hope you liked that video. I hope I was able to give you a little bit more insight into the different fleet setups that we are running right now. You can see already with just destroyers, it is easy to kill level 7 fleets. You don't need more if you do have the right blueprints. But I hope I was also able to show you some other options. So there's a variety of ships you can use early on in game to set up a fleet that can kill level 7 with only destroyers. You don't need cruisers to start farming and killing level 7 pirates. Okay, as always, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and then I'll see you on the next video again.